we're gonna build our solar powered winch. You already built a wind powered winch. So you're gonna take that apart and you're going to use just the nacelle here. Some of you may need a new, like this one. You may have the old one with the wires wrapped around it, the electromagnet. But so you need one of these, and then you're going to attach the this part here. This is a support system for the generator portion. So the generator looks just like a motor. You're going to put one of the gears, the smallest gear, and directions for how to attach this to here is on the base model instructions. So please look and follow those instructions. So you're going to put the smallest gear onto this generator, and on the back of your generator there's either going to be wires or there's going to be these just the two little probes here, right, leads. So you're going to open up this to whatever size is necessary to stick this in here. Make sure you can still reach your the leads in the back, and I'm going to clip, well actually, let's do this. Before we put it in, let's make sure this works. So I'm going to clip the leads from the solar panel directly to my generator, or my motor I should say, and let's make sure that it works. So if I put it under the light source, it spins. And I can see that it's slower down here and faster when it's closer. So anyway, so I just want to make sure it works. So now let's put it up here, and don't tighten it too much yet because we have some things to do first. So I'm going to clip this here. Okay. So now I've got my solar panel set up. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it hang there. Now for the rest of it, this is a gear, and we're going to want to line this up here with our axle. So we have our axle as per normal, and this part is going to go in here. I'm going to thread this through. And then we want to line up with the motor and the motor's gear and this gear. So adjust it so that the teeth intersect. And that's good. So if you need to make adjustments, go right ahead and move things around until things are lined up. And once they are, then you can tighten the motor mount. So get that nice and snug. All right, so let's make sure it works before we move on, right? Okay, so it's a little too snug. That's why it's not moving. It's working, but it's not at a good position. So let's see. I could see it was kind of stuck, which is why it wasn't working. So now let's see if that's any better. There we go. So you have to watch because, you know, there is friction. If this is too tightly, so just adjust the height of the motor mount so that it's able to turn. So it's important to check that as you go. All right. On the other side, we're going to mount our spool like we did in the previous unit. So you've got your spool with this piece in it, right, with these end stops, and just the rope. So if you have a cup attached, you want to cut that off. We don't need the cup. And we're going to put this on. Okay, make sure this is mounted, and let's check it again. Oops, this got detached when I moved everything around. As with every project, right, you have to make sure things are lined up. Oh, there we go. So it works. Now, before you do anything else, I highly recommend that you go you go outside. Does it work in the sunlight? Does it work? What's the, what type of light does it work in? What's the minimum amount of light that you can use and still get this to work? That's kind of an interesting thing to check. If you need to make adjustments so that things stay in a particular place, like so this stays lined up, you have extra end stops, so you could put them in if you want to make sure it sits properly. If you want to mount this somehow so that it doesn't move, so that it stays at a particular angle, you can see what you can figure out with that. Maybe even putting it on top, creating some sort of platform for it to do. That might be useful, so you don't have to keep manipulating and having it hang and fall off. But the goal is to get it to lift. Is to get it to lift this 50-gram mass. So again, oops, it's not mounted. What happened here? Okay. See, it's too heavy. It wants to go, but it can't go. So then, now your question is, how do I get this to lift a 50-gram mass? What changes do you have to make? Just like when we were trying to get that LED. So you want to figure, like, obviously holding this particular light bulb closer isn't making a difference. So now you get to play. You can, what are your variables? What can you fix? What can you change? Go for